Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. So in this video, we're going to discuss the Geeks for Geeks problem of the day, and today's problem is shortest common super sequence, and it is a medium level problem. So I was not able to upload a video yesterday. I hope you had a great Diwali, and yesterday we also had the weekly contest, so I was quite busy with it. Anyways, let's just see what today's question says. It says that we have been given two strings x and y of length m and n respectively. Okay, find the length of the smallest string which has both x and y as subsequences. Okay, so what I can try to do is, like, the very first thought that I have is, okay, the string length is also very small. uh, we can try to find the common subsequence, the longest common subsequence, and then try to adjust the remaining words accordingly. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say we have the second example, E, F, G and H, right? Now we have J, G, H and I. So what is the common subsequence here? We have G here and we have H here, right? So GH, yeah, so GH is the longest common subsequence. Now I can write this once, I can write this common subsequence once, and I have to write all the remaining characters separately, right? So eventually the length will be n plus m minus LCS, where n is the length of the first string, m is the length of the second string, and LCS is the longest common subsequence, right? So I believe like this would be the correct way to solve this problem. Let's just try this once. So LCS is not very difficult. I know a lot of people like get confused when it comes to DP. So let's just discuss how we can form LCS. So let's just name it to A and B first. Now I'm going to have a DP vector, vector int, vector, double dimensional vector, DP of n plus 1. I would like it to be n and m. So n and m, and again a vector of integers size m plus 1 and 0, right? Now I'm just writing it first, then I would want you to like focus what this does. So let's say we are at the ith position in string A and the jth position in string B. So if A of I is equals to B of J, right? If this is the case, then definitely our LCS is going to get increased by 1, right? So dp of ij is going to be 1 plus dp of I plus 1 j plus 1, right? It is as simple as it looks, right? So if this is the same character, we have to do this. Otherwise what we can try to do is, either we skip the character in the first string, or we skip the character in the second string. So dp of ij can be maximum of dp of I plus 1 j comma dp of I j plus 1, right? So this is very simple. So this is the only thing you have to do. Now we have to return n plus m minus dp of 0 0, which is the length of the longest common subsequence, right? So let me just like try to run it first, and then I'll properly explain what I'm trying to do. So this works here. We'll just try to submit it. Yeah, so this was correct, and so the solution is correct. Now let us just quickly discuss what we did here. So the solution is also very simple. It's very uh, it's a very simple observation that if I have two strings, right? If I have two strings, I want to form a third string such that it contains both of them, right? And I want the length of this string to be minimum. So obviously I would not want to repeat characters, right? I would not want to repeat characters, and I want as few characters as possible. So I take some characters from here, I take some characters from here, right? Now these two strings should also be a subsequence in this string. That means I cannot just take characters, they have to be in a specific order as well. So what I do, I take the longest common subsequence here, and put it somewhere inside it, right? Now all the remaining characters will get placed accordingly, right? So the length of the string had to be n plus m. right? If I include all the characters from the first string and all the characters from second string, if I write S1 and S2, this is obviously one of the answers, but I don't want to repeat the longest common subsequence, so I subtract it from the length of the string n plus m, right? This is what I'm essentially trying to do. Now coming to the LCS part itself, LCS is very simple. For example, you just have to focus on this particular part. This part will be formed automatically, right? So what are we essentially doing here? Now let's say you have some string. Don't worry about the string right now. Let's just say you have some character, right? So let's say we have B here and we have B here, right? So if I have only this particular string starting from this B, right? What can be the length of the longest common subsequence of these two strings? You can possibly argue that I can definitely take this B and I don't care what I take from here, right? But I can definitely take this B and it will add 1 to the length of my longest common subsequence, right? This is the argument I'm providing, that if my J pointer is here on this string and if my I pointer is here on this particular string, if this character is same at I and J, then definitely I can take this particular character and it will contribute 1 to my answer, right? I don't care about what is the rest of the string, but I know that this is going to contribute 1. So this is exactly what I did here. If A of I is equals to B of J, then I'm going to set dp of ij as 1 plus dp of I plus 1 j plus 1. So I shifted both of the pointers to the right, right? So that is it what I'm doing here. Now I'm currently not worrying about what is the value of this one particular thing. I am just assuming that everything is going to work out fine because of my for loops. Now if this is not the case, what should I do? Right, so let's say if there was a character B here, we have some string like this, we have a character C here. Now what should we do in this particular case? We don't know. Right now we don't know whether this character will be included in the LCS or this character will be included in the LCS, or possibly none of them is included in the LCS, right? We don't know about it. So what we essentially try to do is, let's just say in one case this character was skipped and this is not included in the LCS. So we must move this pointer to the right and J pointer will remain as it is. The other case can be this character is skipped and it is not included in the LCS, so it is getting incremented and this particular pointer remains the same, right? So these are the only two cases. Either the first one will get skipped and or the second one will get skipped, right? So what I essentially do is dp of ij is going to be whatever the maximum is among those two cases, right? So in the first case I do I plus 1 and j remains as it is, and for the second case I do j plus 1 and I remains as it is. Now whatever of them is the maximum is going to be my dp of ij, right? So this is how you can think about these kind of problems. Now coming to the for loops, you must have observed that a state I is depending on I plus 1. Similarly, let's say ij is depending on ij plus 1. So whenever I am at a state I and it is depending on I plus 1, that means I have to compute I plus 1 first and then I have to compute I. Similarly goes for j. So that is why I just make a simple for loop in which I reverse both of them, right? And for the base case, when I have exhausted the complete string, so let's say this is a string of size n. So the indexes will be 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1, and this is going to be nth index when the string has been completely exhausted. So in this case, when the string has been exhausted, you don't have any characters, the obvious length of the LCS is going to be 0. So this is why I have n plus 1 and m plus 1, so that I have this nth position and I can mark it as 0, right? So you see how beautifully like everything just settles into place if you think about it very logically. First of all, you found out this particular transition. Then from the transition you realize that you need a reverse for loop, and then you realize that you also need to have a base case. That is why you have this particular condition here, right? I'm initializing all the values with 0, although the only 0 value should be where the I is equals to n and the j is equals to m, right? Because at this particular situation you don't have any character, so you cannot form an LCS, right? So that is why the answer is going to be 0 in that case. So this is how you can solve this problem. I hope that you guys were able to understand the solution, and if you guys did, then consider dropping a like in this video, and don't forget to share thoughts in the comments, because your engagement this particular video really helps the YouTube algorithm to understand that this video is actually helpful for you and it will reach much more people like you. And there's one more thing I wanted to show. So you see, this is my first attempt, right? I'm solving all these problems live, and it is not like I've solved this problem earlier. So this is the new format that I've been trying for some time, and if you like this format, then do tell me in the comments. It's just that the more you engage with the videos, the more YouTube understand that this video is good, right? So that is it for today. I'll also try to upload a leak code video. So till then, Stay safe, keep coding. Bye bye.